Good morning, 9th standard students. You know me well. For the last 10 years, I am serving in this institution. I am very fortunate to have you all here, but this new method, new device, online classes. So with full concentration, you can go by my explanation. Last time I told you which lessons are deleted, which are retained. And side by side I had told you all. Besides, I told you all to read the first chapter of your English. The best advice I ever had by Vijayalakshmi Pandit. Article given in Reader's Digest. Now, question arises, who is Vijayalakshmi Pandit? Now, I will ask you all the question, who was the first Prime Minister of India? Well, I will give the answer. The first Prime Minister of India was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And his sister, she is his sister, that is Vijayalakshmi Pandit. Actually, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was not elected as a Prime Minister. The elected person was Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who got something 13, 14, 15 votes. He was elected, but it was a wish of the Congress leaders that Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru should become the Prime Minister of India. And we can call him not elected, but he is selected. But anyhow, for 17 years, he was Prime Minister here. And his sister, she is Vijayalakshmi Pandit. Vijayalakshmi Pandit has given an article, the best advice I ever had. Whose advice she had? She had the advice of our Bapuji, as he is called. That is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi or M.K. Gandhi ji. Now in this chapter, you might have gone by the glossaries, meanings you might have taken. I had given for assignment last time. I had also told you all to read the lesson you might have read, taking into consideration that whatever the things I have given as assignment last time, you have done it so. I have faith in you. Now, some points are there to remember. Vijayalakshmi Pandit is one of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's sister. One of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's sisters. She wrote an article for the Reader's Digest when she was the High Commissioner of India in United Kingdom, that is UK. She was appointed as High Commissioner when her husband died. And during this time her husband died, she along with her other Indian women had participated for years along men in the national struggle for freedom. She was also a freedom fighter. She has also fought for the freedom of India, shoulder to shoulder along with the men. But she became widow. Not only this, she had only daughters. She had only daughters, and at that time, as he calls it, an antiquated law, that law said that lady having no male children or any person who is having no male children will not have a share in the ancestral property of the family. This was the greatest anguish what Vijayalakshmi had. Vijayalakshmi Pandit was going in this anguish, a mental pain I mean. A widow without a son was not entitled to any share of the family property. And at that time, she wanted to go to America. And before moving to abroad country, she wanted to meet Gandhiji, and she went to Gandhi. Gandhiji asked her whether she had met her family members, and she should meet her family members before leaving to abroad country. Obviously, Vijayalakshmi Pandit was angry. She told Gandhiji, "No, I am not going to meet them at all. I am not going to meet them. Not even to please you," she said. "Just because you are telling me, even then I won't go and meet them." Mahatma Gandhiji said, told her, advised her, "You see, one sorrow you are having. One sorrow you are having, that you have lost your husband. That is enough. Why you want to inflict another one?" He told her, "You are going to abroad country just to get rid of all these things. Just to go away from your own difficulties, you are hiding your face. So it is better you go and meet them." This bitterness in your heart, you cleanse your heart and then go. You must clean your heart. Be immaculate. Be a pious one. Love everybody, whether they are relatives, whether they are others. It is very important, and love will win everything. That is the very weapon. Victory is the very weapon. That is, peace is the very weapon of victory. Gandhiji said that no one could harm her except herself. He told her, "You are harming yourself. Nobody is harming you. You are inflicting yourself." She felt as if a great... Then what happened? Time came to go to abroad country. And at that time, Gandhiji's advice just struck her mind. She made up her mind. "Okay, let me meet," she said, "family members." She telephoned her in-laws and she told that, "I will take 5 to 10 minutes of yours. I want to meet you all before leaving to abroad country." She was welcomed. She went there. She sat there for 5-10 minutes, had with them conversation, and then she left. But at that time, when she came out, she felt as if a great burden which was there in her mind had gone out. She was released from the burden. Means Gandhiji's advice had helped her in this situation. Her heart became light. Now there are 3 points here. shown in this article. The first one I told, she met her relatives and a great burden had gone off from her. This is the first point. The second point I will tell you all. After independence, he entered the diplomatic service and became India's ambassador to the Soviet Union. See, after independence, he also became a diplomat ambassador to Soviet Union. In 1953, she became the first president of the United States National General Assembly. Now, this lesson is taken from the article written by Mrs. Vijayalakshmi Pandit, published in Reader's Digest, a monthly magazine. This magazine was monthly magazine, under title, The Best Advice I Ever Had. This was the title for that. Came from one of the greatest souls of the world. The greatest souls of the world, Mahatma Gandhi ji is considered the greatest person, greatest soul, Mahatma Gandhi ji, or Bapu ji as he is called. Mrs. Pandit went through anguish when her husband suddenly died. I have repeated this, I am repeating it again. In this process, her husband died. Though she spent many years with men in the national struggle for freedom, yet in the law she was not entitled to have any share of the family property, nor were her daughters. She was also not allowed to have share in the family property, nor her daughters, only if she had male children, but she did not have. Setting to leave for America to take part in conference, she went to pay respects to Gandhiji. Gandhiji gave her a wonderful advice. This advice, you may call the wonderful advice, that took away her burden of her heart, which was filled with bitterness. Her heart was filled with bitterness because she was not going to have share in the property. The advice of Gandhiji, look here, nobody will harm you except yourself. This is the advice. The sorrow of your husband's death was enough, and you should not cause furthermore painful injuries. Underline this in the textbook. It will occur for reference to context. This advice helped her to go and meet her in-laws before leaving to America to take part in the conference. She had seen she had been there as a leader of Indian delegation held in UN. It was India's complaint. Why she wanted to go abroad? She had taken a complaint, Indian complaint, regarding the treatment of Indian origin in South Africa. At that time, in South Africa, our Indians' treatment was not given well. And for this purpose, she wanted to go to UN. During this meeting, she retaliated when harsh things were said by both sides. She resented the manner in which her opponents made personal attacks. Now what happened? In the conference, personal attacks started. She started to attack, they started to attack, she retaliated. But she resented on the personal attacks made by the other parties. And it was harmful to India's prestige. At that time, she suddenly thought of Gandhiji's advice. This is the second point here. At that time, Gandhiji's advice came to her. whether he would approve such retaliation, whether Gandhiji would agree to such a retaliation, revengeful attacks. Because to him means were more important as the ends. Means were also important as the ends to Gandhiji. In the long run, perhaps more important, she made up her mind not to succeed by questionable tactics which injured self-respect. Now the advice came to her mind and she stopped there itself and she repented of that. Then she discussed on the new level and discussed the case on merits. Now, next day, she started to discuss the same subject on merits without retaliating, without harming anybody or harming herself from others. Now, this is the second point where Gandhiji's advice has helped her. First, meeting her relatives. Second, here in the conference. And third, Mrs. Pandit had invited the Prime Minister of Great Britain, the Lady Eden. At that time, after the conference, she invited the Prime Minister of Great Britain and Lady Eden. Mrs. Pandit had meticulously planned everything from the menu to the colorful scheme of the flowers and the candles. She wanted to give a candle dinner to the Prime Minister and Lady Eden. But when the guests arrived, twice or thrice, only the drinks were passed, but not the dinner on the table. What happened? She told her butler to cook, she gave the menu and prepared the dinner, but only twice or thrice only drinks were provided, but dinner was not there. Mrs. Pandit excused herself from there and went into the kitchen, and she was surprised, to her great surprise, to see a frightened little kitchen maid was standing in a corner. In another corner, the housekeeper was there. At the table sat the cook. The cook was sitting at the table, a ladle, and singing and beating time with his foot. He was just singing and he was beating his time by his foot. His eyes were glazed and he was very far away in some other sphere. This person was not in himself at all. He had drunk. He was in other sphere. He was not in mood of cooking. The table was littered with pieces of kitchen here and there. Chickens had fallen. Mrs. Pandit's knees felt too weak to support herself. Mrs. Pandit thought she fainted here after seeing this, but asked in a normal voice about the dinner. Then normally she asked, what about dinner? The cook retorted. Immediately the cook said that everything was ready and told everybody to sit for the dinner. He told, dinner is ready, no worry, everybody sit, dinner will be provided. At that time, Mrs. Pandit was furious and would have dismissed or fired. At the very time, instantly she would have fired this cook. But Gandhiji's counsel helped her and handled the situation coldly and calmly. This is the third time where Gandhiji's advice has helped her in this article. The food served wasn't quite what the menu described. The food was not according to the menu what it was described there. And she told her guests what had happened there was a chorus of surprise. Then came a chorus of surprise. She told her guests what the cook had done. He had drunk. But the food which was provided, there was a chorus of surprise. If this was what her cook serves when he is drunk, then what must he provide when he is sober? So when this cook has taken drinks, is a drunkard, has drunk, cooked nothing, but still then he has provided food. And at that time the people said, if this is the food, when he provides, when he is drunk, and what will he provide when he is sober, means without taking drinks. This is how Vijayalakshmi Pandit the advice of Gandhiji helped Vijayalakshmi Pandit in these ways. Now, children, you all do one thing. There are questions given in the text. You read the lesson carefully, read the meanings, go through the lesson, absorb it calmly, heed to this explanation what I have given, and then read the question once or twice, and then start writing answers of your own. Thank you very much.